Finally, the wait is over. We are here with part 3 of Continent Dinosaurs Revealed, Unearthed Discoveries. Before continuing where we left in part 2, it is humble request to subscribe to my channel, so you notify of upcoming parts of this series. The length of the imprints of the hind limbs mostly ranges from 50 to 60 centimeters, but the largest of them reaches a length of 80 centimeters. From this, scientists concluded that the maximum length of the lizard could be about 10 meters, despite Tyrannosaurus rex's significantly surpassing. This dinosaur in size was a true giant for its time. Perhaps it was the largest predator of that period based on the available tracks. Scientists were able to calculate its possible movement speed, which could reach 35 kilometers per hour, a considerable speed for dinosaurs. It is assumed that this little studied carnosaur was a relative of Allosaurus. This means that representatives of this family occupy the top tiers of the food pyramid at the end of the Jurassic and the beginning of the Cretaceous periods worldwide. Predatory dinosaurs of Antarctica. Today, the south pole of our planet is almost a lifeless icy desert, but during the time of dinosaurs, Antarctica was closer to the equator and was covered with tropical jungles just like all other continents. Before we start learning about the dinosaurs of Antarctica, please do subscribe to my channel and leave a comment as your feedback, because it is very important for me. Antarctica was densely populated by representatives of various animal and plant species. However, due to the harsh climate and thick ice cover, scientists know practically nothing about Mesozoic Antarctic lizards. Paleontologists truly began studying Antarctica only a few decades ago. Searching for the remains of ancient creatures and plants under a multimeter layer of ice and snow is a challenging task. Therefore, to this day, not many dinosaur species that inhabited this continent have been discovered. But the findings made so far indicate a relatively diverse animal and plant life in Mesozoic Antarctica at the beginning of the dinosaur era. This continent was part of the supercontinent Gondwana, comprising the territories of all modern southern hemisphere continents by the end of the Cretaceous period. Antarctica had already separated from Australia, Africa and South America, but was positioned closer to the equator than it is today, despite an average annual temperature of plus 13 degrees centigrade. The last dinosaurs lived in conditions where polar night occurred for several months. It is believed that both plants and animals had certain features that allowed them to live without light for an extended period. Due to the colder climate, many Antarctic dinosaurs likely had feathers, and some scientists speculate they may have been warm-blooded. Considering the presence of polar night, dinosaurs might have developed night vision or other skills to survive in such harsh conditions. It is also possible that some of them entered a state of torpor enduring unfavorable times. A significant portion of the Mesozoic era Antarctica was attached with another southern continent, Australia. Therefore, it is highly likely that similar or closely related dinosaur species could have existed on both continents. The most well-known predator of Antarctica, whose remains have been studied and described by scientists, is Dilophosaurus. This carnivorous theropod lived in temperate forests that covered the continent during the height of the Jurassic period, approximately 195 million years ago. A well-preserved skeleton of this lizard was found in mountain rock at an elevation of 4,000 meters above sea level in 1991 by geologist David Elliott from the United States. After the discovery was reported, an expedition led by paleontologist William Hammer was organized over 3 weeks. Scientists extracted over 2 tons of rock containing hundreds of bones of a new dinosaur species. In 1994, Hammer described his findings and named the dinosaur. The name can be translated as frozen lizard with a crest. The most important specimen was a well-preserved skull of Dilophosaurus featuring a distinctive crest across the snout. This crest, positioned transversely to the snout rather than parallel, earned the dinosaur its unusual nickname Elasmosaurus after the singer Elvis Presley. In reality, this dinosaur was a carnivorous predator measuring between 6 to 8 meters in length, and its estimated weight varied around 700 kilograms. The length of Dilophosaurus' skull was 65 centimeters overall. It was a classic carnivorous theropod with powerful hind limbs and strong jaws. Another unique predator of Antarctica is the unusual dinosaur known as Imperator. Despite its grandiose name meaning mighty warrior, scientists know very little about its appearance and behavior. Judging the parameters of this dinosaur can only be done based on the single found left foot. Other bones in the hands of researchers have poorly survived. The structure of the legs of this dinosaur closely resembles North American Dromaeosaur, however it lacks the main feature of all members of this group, a powerful claw on one of the fingers. Another important difference is that the foot of Imperator is much larger than that of its overseas relatives, considering that these species belong to Paravians. The Antarctic giant can be considered the largest dinosaur of this type. Proportion size increase compared to the length of the foot suggests that the entire length of the lizard was about 5 meters. It is believed that the entire body of this lizard was covered with feathers, and it lived at the end of the Cretaceous period approximately 71 million years ago. Predatory dinosaurs not only inhabited the land but also thrived in cold waters near the South Pole. In 1989, on one of the islands near the Antarctic coast, the skeleton of a very large plesiosaur was discovered. Due to the absence of the skull, determining its generic affiliation immediately proved quite challenging. Only after studying numerous other findings in this region did specialists from the Argentine Antarctic Institute manage to understand which genus it belonged to. It turned out that the remains belonged to a lizard of the Aristonectes genus from the Elasmosaurus order. These pluri became extinct in the mid-Cretaceous period, and to this day scientists have not encountered such large specimens. The typical species of these creatures were described as early as 1941 with a length not exceeding 9.5 meters. Like all such plesiosaurs, it had a long neck and 2 pairs of fins on the sides of a barrel-shaped body. A notable feature of Aristonectes was its thin, long teeth. Because of them, some scientists suggest that this lizard did not feed on fish and small marine animals but filtered water similar to modern whales. There are even alternative reconstructions of the appearance of these animals depicting a membranous pouch instead of a long neck like many situations. But regardless of the feeding method, scientists have never before encountered such a large representative of this family as its Antarctic species. It is believed that this was an adult individual and its length reached 12 meters. By some estimates, the weight of such a monster could be around 14 tons, and such size are explained by the cooling of the water near the South Pole at the end of the Cretaceous period. As is known, cold waters are more saturated with various animals. The Elasmosaurus that lived there could adapt more quickly to such changes than their competitors and occupy an important ecological niche. In this case, the version of a filtering feeding method may be more likely than the option of hunting for fish. Currently, cold waters in those areas are rich in plankton, which modern marine giants such as whales feed on. The abundance of food likely contributed to the increase in their sizes. Perhaps representatives of the discovered species of marine lizards became some of the inventors of such a feeding method. Predatory dinosaurs of South America. Thanks to mass culture, dinosaurs that lived in North America are more widely known to the general public. However, the South American continent can also host a significant number of species of these ancient reptiles, many of which are not inferior and, in many ways, surpass their counterparts from other continents. Moreover, among scientists there is an opinion that the first dinosaurs appeared in the regions of the supercontinent Pangea, which now make up South America. It is believed that the ancestors of dinosaurs were archosaurs. The last of these creatures inhabited the Earth simultaneously with the first representatives of the dinosaur subclass and became extinct only by the end of the Triassic period. The early representatives of dinosaurs in essence did not differ much from their predecessors from a purely technical standpoint. All dinosaurs can also be classified as archosaurs, include all extinct and currently existing species of reptiles, crocodiles, and birds. However, in a narrow sense, this term specifically refers to creatures that gave rise to all the mentioned branches of evolution. A classic predatory archosaur that lived in modern-day Argentina approximately 230 million years ago was Merosaurus. This small lizard reached a length of no more than 130 cm. Literally translated, its name means Mara crocodile. The Mara, as a large South American rodent moriscus, may serve as a transitional form between classic archosaurs and more advanced dinosaurs. Its hind limbs were much longer than the front ones like the predatory theropods. However, this creature likely used all 4 limbs for movement. Additionally, its skeletal structure has features not typical of dinosaurs. Currently, there are several disputed findings of earlier dinosaurs on other continents, but among officially studied predatory species, the earliest remains belong to dinosaurs from South America, such as Herrerasaurus and Eoraptor. They inhabited this continent in the Triassic period. Herrerasaurus was a fairly large dinosaur with a body length reaching 4.5 meters and a weight of 200 kilograms. The remains of this predator, which lived along rivers, have been regularly found in Argentina since the late 1950s. Scientists now consider this lizard as a precursor to theropods, which branched off later. Herrerasaurus remains were discovered in Brazil in 1936, but it was described only 4 decades later. It was a small bipedal lizard just over 2 meters long and about 80 centimeters tall. Its weight, according to various estimates, ranged from 12 to 30 kilograms. This fast and agile hunter fed on small animals and insects, and in one documentary about dinosaurs, this species is even referred to as the very first dinosaur on Earth. I hope you are enjoying this journey of learning with me. We will continue to this interesting topic in our next video. To get notification of my new uploads, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.